stimulus plan designed to help revive the economy. $787 billion, biggest package of government spending ever.
Bad news to tell you about the economy. A new and frankly eye-popping picture of just how much debt is piling up.
This year's budget deficit will be the biggest ever, $1.5 trillion.
After 09 and 10, you add to this year's deficit. Here's a president who's run up to $4 trillion in debt in less than 3 years. He doesn't have a clue.
The president's new budget for this country, he unveiled it today, a record $3.8 trillion ready to be spent.
Now, this morning, the president had a press conference. I don't know if you heard it, but he called a press conference and pulled people in. He said a number of things, and one of the most interesting things he said was this. He said the private sector is doing fine. He said the private sector is doing fine. Is he really that out of touch? I think he's defining what it means to be detached and out of touch with the American people. Has there ever been an American president who is so far from reality as to believe in an America where 23 million Americans are out of work or stop looking for work or can only find part-time jobs and need full-time jobs, where the economy grew in the first quarter of the year at only 1.9%, where the median income in America has dropped by 10% over the last 4 years, where there have been record number of home foreclosures. For the President of the United States to stand up and say the private sector is doing fine is going to go down in history. It's an extraordinary miscalculation and misunderstanding by a president who's out of touch.
President Obama is spending your tax dollars to create jobs. How's he doing? You've heard of Solyndra. They took $535 million in taxpayer loan guarantees and went bankrupt. But that's not even half the story. Obama's Department of Energy has handed out billions of dollars in loans and grants. First Solar, $3 billion in taxpayer-backed loan guarantees. Now they're cutting jobs, and their stock is near all-time lows. Ecotality received $126 million in taxpayer money, lost $45 million, and currently under investigation. SunPower, more than $1 billion in loan guarantees, lost $500 million last year, laying off workers. More than $16 billion have gone to companies like Solyndra that are linked to big Obama and Democrat donors. The Inspector General said contracts were steered to friends and family. Obama is giving taxpayer money to big donors, and then watching them lose it. Good for them, bad for us.
And one, it contrasts the fact that President Obama hasn't run anything before he was elected President of the United States. Never ran a state, never ran a business, never ran a lemonade stand. This job's too important for on-the-job training. In contrast, Mitt Romney's been a successful governor, a successful businessman. He's got the executive experience, but it also goes to a second point. President Obama simply cannot run on his record. The reality is 23 million Americans unemployed, underemployed, simply have left the workforce. President Obama cannot ask the American people, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? He's going to have to savagely attack Mitt Romney. We've seen the start of that this week, and now you're seeing Mitt Romney respond, which I think is a very good thing.
Have you had enough of President Obama's attacks on free enterprise? His own key supporters have. Democrat Mayor Cory Booker of New Jersey.
I have to just say from a very personal level, I'm not about to sit here and indict private equity.
Former Congressman Harold Ford Jr., Democrat from Tennessee.
Private equity is not a bad thing. Matter of fact, private equity is a good thing in many, many instances.
Former Obama economic advisor and auto czar, Stephen Ratner, a leading Democrat.
And I don't think there's anything Bain Capital did that they need to be embarrassed about.
If you look at the totality of Bain Capital's record, they've done a lot to support businesses, to grow businesses.
Even Obama's own supporters have had enough.
It's nauseating to the American public. Enough is enough.